Somebody take that chainsaw from Mike. All right, let's talk brush piles. Make sure you find a nice bushy tree to use. Definitely want to include some safety gear. When cutting these branches, be mindful of how long they are in relation to how deep of water you're putting them in. Okay, this part is important. You want to cut below a Y, long enough to fit a cinder block or brick onto. Make sure when you load them, you pick them up straight and lay them in close to one another. Slide the blocks onto the end of these trees. Try to get 2 or 3 in each block if you can. Wrap your wire around and through the blocks and then up and through the Y cut in the tree. And then also try to bundle them together so that as it hits the bottom, the top will flare open, but the bottom will stay tightly closed. Take the time to weave everything together with the wire and keep it tight. It will make a much better shape and last a lot longer. Scan around and find the right area. When you find that perfect spot, drop that buoy on top so you know where to dump them. This is an important part. Grab from the bottom of the pile and try to dump it out in one motion. Sometimes it helps to put a board underneath so you can both pull up on the board. With live scope, you can see the brush pile fall into the water, make contact, and then flare itself open right on the edge of that point. Bullseye on the edge of the rock. Here you can see the contours where we chose to put it, brush pile number 1 and the rock. Brush pile number 1, right off the side of that hump. This should be a great spot. Placement is as important as the brush itself. So you see the rock on the left-hand side and right on the edge. There it is on side imaging, wide open on top. Well, everybody loves a little overkill, so if you find a perfect spot, why not add a little bit more brush to it and see how good it can be. There's brush pile number 2, well, number 1 on the right, number 2 going into the water. Here you can see the hump in the middle, brush pile number 1 on the left and number 2 on the right. This should be as good a placement as we can get. It gives fish the opportunity to hunt in between it for bass and sit on the edge of the drop, and gives deep water nearby on the way to the shallow using that point, and there is some hard rock on it as well. Book a trip at Bienville and let's go fish these brush piles.